Welcome everyone to another Conversations Void. We have a very special for everyone tonight. We have a couple of the cast and crew here from Camp Blood 666, Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. So without further ado, welcome back to the show, Tom O'Brien. How you doing tonight, sir? And we do have Shen. And Shen, correct me on, you played the survivalist, correct?
I did, yes, sir.
All right. Awesome. So why don't you guys tell them? I know you also did a couple other items on the movie as well, correct?
If you're talking to me, yes, I was also second camera for that movie, and I did some other things randomly here and there.
Mm-hmm. So
well,
I was yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a small supporting role. So
yes, you were Dave. I believe your name was correct, right?
My character, I was Brad.
Brad, that's right.
Brad, yeah, Brad.
So for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, I do have it scrolling across the screen where you can watch it, which is on Tubi right now. So without spoiling anything too much for everyone watching, can you describe the movie to us a little bit?
Well, pretty much to describe it, really, it continues the I guess the lineage of the original Camp Blood from 1999, and we're going in, the 23rd year, well, 24th year of it, and it just follows that that the lineage of the slasher horror franchise that some people may know of. A lot of horror fans, slasher fans know of. It's gained, of course, a pretty good cult status over the years. So, I mean, it was cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I remember watching some of the Camp Bloods way back in the day because they would appear on DVDs at the video rental stores. I remember watching at least the first couple of them, and I believe the last one, part 1, was a couple of years ago at this point. Is that correct? Do you recall?
I believe so. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah.
So for you, Shannon and Tom, did either of you watch all the previous installments before getting cast in this one?
I did, yes.
I've seen some of them, but not like I've only seen like a small handful of them. I haven't like watched them all. I've seen some. So
I bought the box set from David Sterling.
Okay.
And it was right after that where I saw his post about Will Colazzo going to be doing Camp Blood 666 Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I expressed some interest in being a part of it. And that's when he told me to message Will.
Okay.
And that's how I became involved in the film.
Nice. And well, you, Tom, was there a casting call that you answered an audition for then?
I heard that they were doing it, and I was like, all right, this sounds this is interesting. And it was going to be filmed over in Suffolk County, over in Long Island. I'm like, all right, this sounds like interesting. I mean, I wasn't really very I haven't really worked on any real like a lot of slasher films. Okay. So it was like, okay, this is new. So I was like, all right, I'm always a big fan of horror, and it's like slasher is always, I've thought about doing slasher films, but I've never gotten the opportunity to. So I'm like, hey, I'll give it a shot. And it was fun.
Nice.
The whole area though definitely felt, the whole the landscape of it just felt like a horror slasher film.
Oh, for
It
sure.
just had that mood.
Right. So, were either of you there for the entire production of the movie? About how long this took to make or film?
I was there for about 95% of it. I'm a photographer. That's what I do for a living. And I actually had a photo shoot the next day back in Kentucky. So I had to hop in my van and hit the road before we finished production.
But how long was the filming for the?
I'm wanting to say roughly 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
It was a very quick film. We did work all day, all night. It was a lot of work during those days, though.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially because all the different angles that were being used for the shots. You had the two sides of the conversation, which is interesting for me with the stuff I've done. It's been kind of a everyone is in the same scene for the most part versus the side by side shots that was really done, especially in the bar scenes. It had
Right.
both sides of the conversations and shooting.
Mm.
Yeah, there was one point though that, because like I said, I did some of the cinematography for it, that we split up into 2 different units, and I had to go film some parts while Will was at the bar filming other parts, just to kind of make things flow a little faster.
Nice. That's cool. I mean, I really want to know from the bar is where's this bar that gives away all these free shots? Because she was handing out those shots like they were nothing. So for this question for both of you, Shannon or Tom, if you want to pick who goes first, what was for you, do you think the hardest, Shannon, for you, the hardest scene to shoot? And then Thomas we'll discuss your scenes that you have after that. But for you, Shannon, what was the hardest to shoot, do you think?
The one that gave us the most problems was when the camp owner was first talking to the church group inside the office.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things going on because we were at an actual campground, and in that office there was a lot of different noises that kept interrupting the shoot and making people mess up on their lines. And at one point, the camera fell off the tripod and hit the ground, and that was scary. But we powered through it, and we ended up knocking out that scene. But it did take a lot longer, and it was a lot more stressful than what it should have been.
Nice. Now, I mean, it was an active campground, so there were actual people that you were able to close off the set or anything.
Well, we had the campground all to ourselves, except for maybe a couple of workers, and because they were renovating part of the campground.
Okay.
But it was off season, so we had the run of the campground to ourselves, basically.
That had to make it a lot easier to film.
Oh yeah, much easier.
Sweet. And you also played Survivalist.
I did, yes.
I mean, was there anything challenging that you had to do as a survivalist for you?
No, not at all. It was my first time ever acting, ever being on camera. So I listened to the other ones that have done it before. They gave me some tips, and I just rode with it.
Nice. Cody's in the chat. Hey, Cody, how's it going?
Hey, Cody.
Hey, Cody.
No, that's cool. I think you seem as natural as anyone I've seen in front of the camera. I said I haven't done that in a very long time. I just did it very recently. It's nerve-wracking for me, I can tell you that much. Now, obviously, with you being the kind of the second unit, were you filming yourself then? Were you kind of director for your own parts?
I was filming someone else, and actually, because this was my first movie, he actually sent me over with Tim Hatch, and he pretty much directed the scene, and he was a big help on that, making me feel comfortable just jumping in there and doing things. And since then, I've worked with Will and Tim probably 6 or 7 more times since then. I now work with Will as the DP and sometimes assistant director.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. Now, do you feel like you've been on the set for 7 years in those 4 to 5 days?
Yes, yes.
That's cool. Like I said, I love hearing behind the scenes stuff. I really eat it up. Now for you, Tom, how long did it take for you to film your parts? Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything in it.
I don't know, like 5, maybe 4, 5, or maybe 6 hours at most. It wasn't that long. I mean, I was only there for one day. It was a small supporting role, and it was like things were a little slow, starting off, but it was good because you get to meet some of the cast and the production and just pretty much get the info on talking about how the scene's gonna go. So it's like, all right, rehearsing.
Right.
Always rehearse when you got some downtime.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now I gotta ask, with like I said, without spoiling anything, the bloody scenes that happen. This is a slasher, right? They happen.
Yeah.
With many takes and stuff like that. What's it like to get out of the bloody makeup to do between scenes?
After like when you're done with it, like soap, water, scrubbing, like like healing, like it's all about that. It's just yeah, okay, like for the next like day and a half, you're gonna have like pinkish type of skin. Just say it's a rash.
There you go.
Because
I know
it's like whatever.
we had a few that had to get on the train to go back into the city late one night that was still covered in fake blood.
Yes. Yeah, I remember like getting on the Long Island train going back. I think one of the train conductors gave me a sort of weird look because I had like some SFX makeup around my neck area and whatever. I'm like around my ear. I'm like, whatever. Just play it off like whatever. It's normal. And this is like 11 something at night. It's like whatever. I'm sure there are much more bizarre, weird things that happen, at Long Island at this time of night. It's like whatever.
Yeah, I have not had the opportunity to be covered in fake blood yet in a movie. I'm worried about my beard from it. Any advice for getting that out of beards, anyone?
Oh, I mean, not this film, but previous films when I had like SFX makeup on me and I had to grow like real thick facial hair.
Yeah.
It's not a pain, but it just, you just gotta like tear it right off and just yank it off, because if you just pull it slowly, it's just gonna be like it'll feel like you're waxing your beard. Ooh. And it's like
Yeah, I didn't feel
just
like it was too
right
bad
off.
cleaning mine off. I had quite a bit of blood in my beard after my scene, but I don't feel like it was that big of a deal.
Now, was there a secret recipe for it, or was it kind of just the off the shelf?
It was I think we used a little bit of. I think we used 3 different ones. We had. I'm sure you remember the guy who said the liquor license.
Mm-hmm.
He had his own recipe, and then we had some store bought some, and Heather Harlow made some.
Now, I'm assuming that's just for different shots and different stuff, whether it's a spray versus a smattering versus a gush. Probably just different consistencies.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, Heather did a really good job with the blood on that one and the special effects.
Now, with it being renovated, did you have to be careful and kind of tarp up a lot of stuff with the splashing of the blood?
Just inside, really. It wasn't that bad. The stuff outside, it was no big deal, of course. But the renovation part was more towards the cabins, and we were in the yurts.
Okay. Now, did you guys happen to stay there at the campground while filming?
Yes.
You guys had to go off site. You stayed on site.
Yeah, most of us did. Not all. I'm trying to remember. Did you, Tom? I think you were
Oh no,
gone.
I caught the train back.
Yeah.
I was only there for the day, so
Yeah.
For sure. I mean that's cool. I like seeing people staying kind of at the areas they're doing.
Yeah, we had 3 yurts, I think, that we like 3 or 4 of us in each yurt.
Okay. How big are their yurts then?
Yeah, they were big, but I was sleeping on a beanbag also.
but the campground, honestly, the campground was definitely it was scary. It definitely had this this vibe from the 1990s slasher horror genre. Like it felt like it kind of had that 1995, 1996 type of slasher movie vibe to it. Like it's just creepy. You know,
Right.
even though there were like, you know, boats parked, whatever, and there was like you know, camping trailers. It had that there was something about the campground that just it had this old school slasher movie vibe to it.
Nice.
Plus, it
Now,
helped because it was all like cloudy.
right. I mean, that has to make for great B-roll to have that empty park and then just be able to hear, you know, the nature that is going on around you. You ever sit there and just go like, "Hey, it's 2 a.m. I'm gonna do some B-roll around the campground."
Yeah.
I mean, what time did year did you guys film this? Because it looks like it was chilly-ish out.
It was early December.
Early December.
Yes.
Yep.
In New York.
Yes.
Mhm.
Wow, that's had to be a little cold up there.
I remember the day before I got to set, I have my van set up as a camper van,
Mhm.
and I was camping in it, and it got down to, I believe, 34 degrees that night with strong winds. So that night was the worst, but there were a couple of nights where it tried to rain on us while we were trying to finish up outside too, and that was bad.
Yeah, it looked like it was raining when really they go to the pasture for the keys, right? It was probably actually rain then.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, nature is fun and to deal with that uncontrolled environment, but you guys are pretty lucky it's only rain in
Right.
December.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is that something you guys had to be
Mhm.
cognitive about with seeing people's breath, or is that not
It was
really?
the biggest issue was the wind. The noise of the wind on the audio was a lot to deal with.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really windy.
Now, how did you? I mean, do you have a separate boom mic operator, or what's your kind of equipment look like that you're using? Like, was it that detrimental then to the microphone?
On this one, we used I believe we used a couple of lav mics and a shotgun.
Okay,
Nice.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's. I said the weather is a pain, quite honestly, to deal with stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's impressive that you guys were able to do that in the 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
To do all
it was
that.
a lot of work. Everybody jumped in and did a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the credits, I mean, not only do you have a lot of actors there, but obviously you see a lot of names doing multiple parts, and that's what I really like about indie movies or horror movies is everyone seems to be a family. That you just, I need to pick up this mic, I'm going to do this. I need to do this. I'm here. I'm going to do that, and that's what I really love about this community that I have been lucky enough to slowly become a part of.
Exactly. Yep.
It's cool.
Sure. And we were discussing a little bit off camera before we started the show, but tell us about the film festival then that is coming up, Tom, that you guys are doing in 2 days here.
Well, it's over. It was accepted over at the Nyack International Film Festival. It's the 12th annual of the event, and it's pretty cool. It's going to be shown, and it's an honor to be in the lineup. With it's always nice to have your work acknowledged. And it's always great to have a film get into a film festival.
Mm-hmm.
It's very appreciated.
Yeah, and then Shannon, are you going to be going up for that film festival by chance?
Unfortunately, I will not be. I got a lot of work going on right now, and I will be starting working on another movie on Sunday. So I'm trying to get my work for my own business finished up before I start that.
Right, for sure. And I mean, with 2023, obviously, when I had Tom on here before, I talked about how COVID kind of kiboshed a lot of things. What's you guys' schedule look like for the rest of this year? Do you have a lot of stuff lined up for both of you?
Right now, yeah, I have several projects in the works, as well as I'm always looking for obviously more projects to work on. But right now, things are actually really back on track. I mean, yeah, COVID definitely put a kibosh on a lot of things, or it really slowed progress on a lot of projects. So it's like it's nice that it's we've recuperated from that era. I mean, that was just terrible time. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to 2024.
So far for this year, I've completed one, worked on two others. Like I said, I got the next one coming up next week, and I might be working on another one come May if I can find the time to do it. But we should have a few other projects in the works. And I'm wanting to say this year there should be about 5 or 6 that I've worked on that comes out this year.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, though. It's like I said, it's great to see that. Now, is a lot of your stuff primarily on Tubi? Do you guys have physical releases of anything you guys do that people can purchase? I know I personally like to collect DVDs and VHS still because I'm old and I still like to collect that stuff.
I'm the same way. I'm probably pushing close to 2,000 movies right now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Oh, wow.
But the main ones that I've been involved in this year were through Cult Cinema with Will and Julie. And I know a lot of their stuff goes through, I believe, SRS, I think is who releases a lot of theirs. And one of them, which Tom was actually involved in too, it just went on pre-sale today for the Blu-ray, for limited edition Blu-ray with a poster.
Oh, wow.
And that's the Amityville Turkey Day movie.
Yes, I did see that. I said it's great because it looks like once you guys are able to work with a group of people, that you guys move with them and continue to do their stuff. And I love seeing that.
That was that production was really lots of fun. And I think we filmed a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff was filmed in that. Plus, It was really cool getting to see an animatronic turkey.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Chad, are you part of the upcoming Silent Night, Bloody Night 3 as well?
I am not. That one was done before I jumped into all this.
Okay.
That one actually got shot before Camp Blood 666 Part 2 did.
Oh wow, it's I know obviously things take time. Obviously you have to, edit the movie, you have to do it, and you have to have distribution rights. You have to pass all those fun quality checks when distributing a movie
Exactly.
for sure. Now the question is there going to be Camp Blood 666 Part 3?
Well, we actually did Camp Blood 9
Yep.
Okay.
with Cult Cinema. We have a trailer out for it also. I don't think there's a release date yet, though. But um, the Camp Blood movies, they usually do pretty good at getting those out there to the people.
Sweet. That's awesome. I remember the days of you had to, get the copy of the copy of the copy of a VHS tape just to be
Right.
able to see something. And I discussed with a lot of people is that you know the VOD and the streaming services have brought new light to indie filmmaking as a whole. That you're able to get your stuff in front of more people. I think that's great. Have you guys seen any reviews or anything out yet from this film?
I've seen a few. Seen a few. There was actually another podcast that reviewed the movie live the other night, and it was pretty interesting to see their thought or hear their thoughts on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like so this is about like I said, I have the link in the description below. I have it going across the screen. Make sure to check it out. It's about an hour and 10ish 11ish minutes, I believe, right?
And I know the movie was cut short for Tubi, but if you
Oh,
do you have, I know you like to collect the movies. Do you have the Blu-ray for it?
I do not.
There's actually a commentary cut on there that has a lot more scenes, including some extra scenes with both me and Tom, and one scene of us together that got cut from the movie.
Oh, I mean, he didn't bear raise you, did he?
But it did explain my character a little bit more, and why Tom had come out after somebody with bear spray.
Okay. Instead of just having his handy dandy bear spray there ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tom was a lot of fun to work with. He really made me like. I think even though it got cut, me and Tom on screen was the first. That was the first scene I did on screen.
It was really good working with Sean on that scene. It was really cool. It was like it was definitely that whole scene had a good flow to it.
It did.
And then just felt like it definitely had that it was like suspenseful. It was just like it was cool. It was good fluid in that scene. Acting fluid.
Awesome. You helped ease him into the acting world then, Tom?
No,
awesome.
Shine, no, he was like a natural in that scene.
For sure. Awesome. I now I have to see that scene, right? Now I have to get the Blu-ray copy just to be able to see that. Tom, you have to hit me up and shoot me the link to it if you have it so I can make sure to check
I don't have it, unfortunately. I think Will would have it.
I think it might still be for sale on SRS Cinema also.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. We're approaching the end of the show. It always goes by fast for me. Is there anything you guys want to plug or say about this movie before we start doing our end of the day pluggables?
I'll just say, just like you, make sure that people are out there buying these physical copies. That's one of the best ways you can support indie films. Of
Mhm.
course,
Yeah.
always good to have Tubi. Tubi's been a great source for everybody. Um, but everybody needs to look out for Amityville Turkey Day. I think a lot of people are going to have fun with that one.
Oh, definitely. No, I'm anticipating it. It definitely looks good. It's a good. It looks like one of those purposely good horror comedies. It's not too serious. It's not meant to be taken too seriously. It looks, but at the same time, it looks suspenseful. It's got like filming it, like certain scenes I remember working on that film is some of the scenes kind of reminded me a little bit of like old movies, like something out of a creep show, like the first one. It was like real suspenseful, like comical, but suspenseful. And I think people will really enjoy that if you like horror comedy.
For sure. When's that coming out? Do we have a ETA for that?
I think July.
Okay.
I know the pre-order's up now, but I think it's going to start shipping in July.
Sweet. Yeah, for sure. Tom, you'll have to send me the link so we can start blasting this across all the different shows and channels I do, just to make sure that we get the word out there for people to get that.
Oh yeah, I just gotta get the okay on that first.
Oh, and Thomas, I sent you the link to send him for the Blu-ray, and I was mistaken. It is on mateflix.com.
Yes.
That's where part 2 is.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And I do have to end it as our traditional goes is I ask a random horror trivia question. Thomas,
Yeah.
you want to go first?
No, Shannon should go first.
Shannon should go first.
Yeah.
All right. What was Candyman's weapon of choice?
It was a hook, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah,
All right. Ready for yours, Tom?
knew that. Okay.
All right. What legendary funny man duo encounter all kinds of classic monsters in their Meet the Monsters movies?
Abbott and Costello.
Yes. Yes. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. And give us your plug. Where can people follow you on social media to help learn where all your movies are coming out?
I'm on Facebook as Shannon Hall, Hall. It's open to the public, and I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff from movie shoots that we've been doing.
Awesome. How about you, Tom?
Thomas O'Brien at Facebook, as well as actor thomasjobrien.com.
Sweet. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on there. And for anyone who knows, I am Graveyard. You can follow us on social media at Pod Out at Night, and also the new production company I helped start out recently this year, Horror Raven. Make sure to check us out. Give us a like, follow, and subscribe. And the more subscribers we have, the more horror swag we will give away. So make sure to check that out. And thank you once again to Shannon and Thomas for joining us. And we'll see you next time. And make sure to not get lost in the void. Good night.
All right.